Board of Education business meeting. Today is March 19th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Mr. Llewellyn and Mrs. Miller are absent. Mrs. Gibson?
Here.
Mr. Mundy?
Here.
Mrs. Shaw?
Here.
All right, would you like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Got me again. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today, everyone in attendance, and we'll do a brief introduction and then we'll get right on rolling. So I will start. Let's start with the table over here. We got some wonderful admins over here. Well, let's start with Devin. We have Devin Berry, our Director of Human Resources. We have Ms. Becky Yerman, our Director of Student Resources or Student Services. We have, I don't know why I can't, Julie Jones, thank you. It's also right from me, our Curriculum Director. And then we have Jack Haig, which is our Business Manager. It's great seeing you guys. And then we have our student reps, if you would like to say your own names.
Hi, I'm Krista Barnett. I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Daniela Rodriguez Vasquez and I'm a freshman.
As you can tell, that's why we have them say their own names. And then we have board member Lori Gibson. We have Dr. Andrea Townsend. I'm Nate Mundy. I'm also a board member. We have Angie Shockley, another board member. Our other two board members are absent today, but that's John Llewellyn and Leslie Miller. And then we have Ryan Sloan, our treasurer. All right, we'll move right along to the agenda to be adopted. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
All right, Ryan?
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
All right, this is going to go a lot quicker than three of us. There's no comments related to the agenda items, so we'll move right along to Janine Corbett for a communication update.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to remind everyone the ways you can stay in touch with what's happening in your school district. Our website, westcarrolltonschools.com, Facebook, West Carrollton City Schools, X at WC City Schools, and Instagram at WC_City Schools. You'll also be getting news from your child's school through text messages, emails, phone calls. Dr. Townsend also sends out a weekly message, so watch for that. I still have school delays, closures on that, but hopefully the weather will stick and we won't have any more need for that. Are you ready for kindergarten? That's going to be a little bit of a feature on our news section of our website, on the main site as well as the ECC, because we want to make sure kids are ready. I did a little research on my own. I thought it was interesting. There is a link in this article that goes to Ohio State, and they said if you read 5 books to your child a day from birth until they go to school, I know 5 books sounds like a lot, but think of children's books. It's not really. They will be exposed to about 1 million words before they come to school. Of course, there will be repeat words, but 1 million words. You don't read as much to your child, they'll be exposed to around 60,000. Big difference. So I urge you to go to this article, click on the links, find out a little bit more for yourself. There's a lot of information out there. Also on our Facebook and our website news, you're going to start seeing more and more of our senior spotlights as we get closer to graduation. We're also putting up some student spotlights here and there. It's always fun to find out what the kids are doing and what they're going to do in the future. The answer is totally different when you go to 2025 in the class of 2032. Just a reminder, March 31st through April 4th is spring break. Students return April 7th. And there's some upcoming dates. These are also on our website under the news sections. High school parent-student orientation is going to be March 26th at 6 p.m. Trivia night for the band and color guard, they are having that April 17th. You can pre-register, so go to the website, you can click on that article, it'll have a link that will take you there to register for that. And Senior Citizens Breakfast is coming up. That will be Thursday, April 24th at 8:30 a.m. They get a sneak peek of the musical, which this year is Mean Girls. RSVP no later than Monday, April 7th to Wendy Cirque. Mean Girls, tickets are already on sale. Performances will be in the High School Geiler Auditorium, Friday, April 25th, Saturday, April 26th, Sunday, April 27th. I was looking at the cast of characters. I know Kristen has a part in the play this year, but there's a lot of staff members, which that'll be fun too. Okay, I hate to bring this up, especially for the seniors or high school kids that are here, but the annual staff-student basketball game, the staff got 35, the students 26. But the big winner, American Cancer Society, the event raised $468 to be donated to that organization. Harold Schnell Elementary, they received the Governor's Science of Reading recognition. I think, Julie, are you going to talk more about that a little bit later? No. Well, there's a whole article on it on the website, but it's really awesome. Read about that. We were recognized, one of, I think there's 47 schools being recognized from the Governor DeWine. And the BPA, Business Professionals of America, they shined at the state competition, and they will be going to the next step, which is nationals. Emily Earle, who's their advisor, she said that this was a record number of medals and trophies that the kids brought home, so that is fabulous. And also, I was really impressed, not that I'm not impressed with the high school, but these are two novice teams. They just got their BPA chapter this year, and they got a first place for video team, third place for presentation team for the middle school. They are also qualified to go to nationals. Yesterday was a career fair at the high school. You can see that we were there too, exposing kids to different career opportunities that they may have. They got to talk to different companies, representatives, and find out, you know, what do you need to do to work here? What kind of education do I need? What kind of skills do I need? So it was very interesting, and I'm going to just back up on that for just a second. I also wanted to point out that Shook Construction was there. I think Jack knows somebody from Shook Construction. They are the ones that are constructing our new schools, so very happy to have them represented. This is just a small piece of the pie as far as people that were there, so there is information on our Facebook page about all the companies that were there. So this was interesting. Montgomery County Sheriff. This is a little bit different perspective. We have a father and son sheriff, and I asked them each the same question, and it was interesting to get the different answers because age difference. So I just wanted to show you that.
First off, tell me your name.
Nolan Ridgway,
Nolan Ridgway, what year did you graduate?
2017.
And obviously you went on to bigger and better things. I hear you went first to the Marines,
Yes.
and now here you are with the Sheriff's Department. How are you enjoying that?
I love it. In July, I'll be here for 3 years. I've worked about every district that we have, and it's always a good time.
So what advice would you give to these kids today here at the career fair?
So I didn't necessarily take high school all that serious. If I can give them any advice, is take it serious, get good grades, and graduate. And there's numerous opportunities out there.
Okay, I've got to get you too.
Hello.
So you are the father of Nolan.
Yes, I am.
So I just asked him, and I'm going to ask you the same question. What advice would you give these kids today as they're going to the career fair?
Well, find something that you like. Find something that will provide you. The most important things, in my opinion, are some sort of retirement, or at least come up with that retirement on your own. Stability, and make sure you've got great benefits. Ask all the questions at interviews and before you accept the job of what type of vacation pay you have, or what type of sick time you're available to get. Just the whole big picture. And of course the wages and what are your opportunities to move up.
So I thought that was really interesting. You got really two completely different answers, but both of them very good advice for high school students, especially the one about keep your grades up. Don't let those fall. So as always, be safe, be respectful, be responsible, be kind. And that's all I had this evening.
Great.
Thank you.
So much. Incredible. All right. So this is probably the moment you guys have been waiting for. We're going to be going on to presentations. And Evan, I hope you don't mind if we let these kids go first. If Ms. Wonderful would like to come up and Dr. Wood present.
Come on up, guys.
Good evening to President of the Board, Mr. Mundy, Superintendent, Dr. Townsend, and board members, and Treasurer, Mr. Stone. West Carrollton Intermediate School, 5th and 6th grade, they're full of energy, but they're also full of a lot of good ideas. So when we were presented with the task of presenting here today, they basically came up with the idea of how they wanted to highlight our school. So with the help of our gifted coordinator, Kathy Barter, and Ms. Flom, we present to you West Carrollton, just a sample of West Carrollton Intermediate School students.
So we're the students of the West Carrollton Intermediate School, which is the 5th and 6th grade, and we're going to talk about all of the things that we've been doing and learning in school. And I'm going to talk about our PBIS awards, which at school we earn PBIS points, and if we get like so many in 1 month or one period of time, we get a reward, and some of those rewards are like a pajama day or a movie day, and yeah. So we we have also been working on Black History Month projects. I know it's March now, not February, but it's okay. And I did Simone Biles, and she is one of the most like decorated gymnasts, and it's really cool that I got to do her because I'm also a gymnast. And yeah.
My name is AJ Davenport, and I'm here to tell you about Unity Day and the UD game. So, the Unity Day is what we did. So, we made shoes for the school, and then we made like a gingerbread house, but out of a box. So you had to make a gingerbread house with a box. That was in Christmas. And then the UD game, we also made T-shirts for the college players, so they can wear it in the warm-up game. And I also did a top 10 slide, and I did Serena Williams in here in the top 10 things you need to know about her. I'll just say the top 4 though. Serena has 308 Grand Slams and 4 Olympic gold medals in tennis. Serena was born in Saugus, Michigan, but moved to Compton, California when she was 3 years old. Serena started playing tennis when she was 3 years old. Serena holds the most significant in titles doubles, singles, doubles, and mixed doubles in tennis history.
Hi, my name is Jordan Long, and I will be talking about Student of the Month in Math Fact Lab. We get recognized as Student of the Month by being safe, respectful, and being responsible, and having high acts of character. We get recognized with we get recognized with a certificate and a small medal. And Math Fact Lab is like a series of questions, and it's out of 1,000 points, but there's like 20 questions. And if you get below a 900 score, you have to redo the level, and then when you master your multiplication and division facts, you get a certificate, and your name gets called on the announcements during the day. And here's my top 10 slide about Roberto Clemente. He collected 3,000 career on-base hits in his last game, which was October 11th, 1972, against the Yogi Berra's Mets. Number 3, he won the Presidential Medal of Freedom from George W. Bush in 2003. Number 2, won the Hispanic Heritage Awards in 2024 by contributing to the Hispanic community. And number 1, he got 92.7% of the vote to get into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in 1973.
My name is Tessa, and I'm in 5th grade. In my social studies class, we were learning about influential Black leaders. My project was on Jackie Robinson. The top 2 facts you should know are 1, he was born in 1919, January 31st, and 2, he helped the Civil Rights Movement by being the first African American in a Major League Baseball. We also have a program called Dragons MVP, where teachers nominate students for a chance to win 4 free Dragons tickets and a free MVP hat and a certificate. To get nominated, you must have good grades, good behavior, and a positive attitude. We also have a club called Student Council. The Student Council members make posters and help set up events for our school, like Spirit Weeks. To get in Student Council, you must complete an application. Don't get in any detentions, and have a ride home on time. I hope I have helped you learn what's happening in our school.
My name is Adrian Montalva, and I'm here to talk about Honor Roll and Spirit Week. Honor Roll in the school is when you get A+, or straight A's, or A's and B's. You get recognized by getting called down and get a certificate for your grades, I guess. And Spirit Week is when PBIS awards get awarded and you get to have like a fun week. The recent Spirit Week we had was Read Across America, which we stopped in one of our periods and read for 10 minutes. And other Spirit Weeks we had, which is the most recent one we did, was Dr. Seuss. We dressed up for one of the days as our future career, and another one we get to wear pajamas. This is my project top 10 slots. In the ring, Ali had speed and courage. He was undefeated throughout his first 31 fights. He won an Olympic gold medal 3 times and was the first fighter to capture the heavyweight title 3 times. In a sad moment of his life, Ali filed over his red bicycle, which made him start his boxing career. In a few short years, he won the gold medal at the 1960 Olympics.
My name is Jackson Whitfield, and today I will be talking about Mindful Mondays and STEM Club. Mindful Mondays is 7 mindsets. We talk about goals and goals to set for the week and goals that other people have made. For STEM Club, we are currently working on drones, flying them through obstacles. We are coding, and we did have a competition on Saturday.
My name's Gabe. I'm going to be talking about science. We just finished sound. We learned how it travels and how it travels through sound waves and vibrations. Now we're focusing on light travels and all that. And
Good job. And this is our Aztec poster. One important thing you need to know about the Aztecs is they invented chocolate and were very into pottery.
they were located in northern Mexico during the years 1325 and 1521 AD.
Hi, my name is Emma Offenbacher, and today I'm going to be talking about band in my Black History Month project. In band, we've been learning a few new pieces for our upcoming concert in May, and I play the clarinet, and I think that it's going to be an interactive class where we're not all learning the same thing, and it's like different than any of the other classes that I've ever been in. And in choir, I'm not actually in choir. My friend Amelia was selected to do this, but she's actually at choir concert right now, and she told me to tell you guys that they're going to be singing The Grand Old Flag, Shine Like Stars, and the concert is grades 2 to 8. And now my Black History Month project. So here are some important things about Sarah Boone. She was born into slavery in 1832 and married out of slavery at the age of 14. She was an engineer. She was one of the first African American women to receive a patent for her iron board, and she was a self-made millionaire.
Hi, I'm Aiden Stevenson. Today I'll be talking about orchestra and my top 10 slides. We were learning about different like parts and pieces. Like we don't play like the same stuff, so as well like band. We are like learning new pieces for our upcoming concert in May 6th, I think. Okay, here's my slides. Top 10 list about Shirley Chisholm. She graduated with honors and got a bachelor's degree in sociology and a bit of Spanish. Chisholm started her interest in politics in 1953. She started House of Representatives for 7 terms. Chisholm tried to run for president in 1972.
Hi, my name is Sadie Borders. I'm a 6th grader at the West Carrollton Intermediate School, and another club that lots of students participate in is Drum Club. It kind of ties into STEM Club, but we go on competitions, and we work on piloting and co-piloting drones, and a lot of communication and teamwork skills. We just recently went to a competition, and we placed 11th. And these are my top 10 slides about Kamala Harris. Starting at number 4, she casted the most tie-breaking votes in voting history. 3, she was the first African American and Asian American woman to win a presidential nomination of a major party. 2, she ran for president with Tim Walz running as vice president in 2024, but was beaten by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. 1, she was the 49th vice president of the United States.
Hello, my name is Cece Ramirez, and I'm here to talk about Art Club and my top 10 slides. What we are doing in Art Club is we have been painting and drawing, and what we are working on now is making posters for our art show on May 2nd at the high school. And here are my top 10 facts about Percy L. Julian. Number 3, his home was set on fire on Thanksgiving Day by an arsonist because he was African American. 2, Julian earned over 130 chemical patents and professional rewards. Number 1, Percy brought attention for synthesizing the drug phytogene that was used to treat glaucoma.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm just really proud of these kids. These kids came from all different language arts and social studies and science classes. They were nominated by their teachers to present their projects, and we got together, we talked about the different things that we wanted to make sure that we presented to the board, and they came up with what they were saying. we just talked about, here are the things that you want to talk about. They came up with it, they've practiced, they were ready. They were really prepared. When we practiced this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, they're fantastic. So I'm just really proud of them, and we're just really grateful for all of your support and for providing all of us with wonderful opportunities to learn and to grow, both in the classroom and with all the extracurricular activities that they're involved in. So thank you very much.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, you guys did incredible. Let's get one more round of applause. Thank you guys so much for being here. I have to say, you guys speak better than me when it comes to this. So really, it means a lot to have you guys be here and be a part of this. I mean, that's why we do what we do, is support what you guys do. So right now, I'll give you guys a chance. I'm guessing not many of you probably want to stay with us for the rest of the meeting because it gets a lot more.
Before all of you leave,
Okay, so Janine wants to go.
but before all of you leave, you guys nailed it. Some of you walked in here, I thought you're gonna heave before you get up here. And you went up there and you nailed it. You should be so proud of yourself. Each and every one of you spoke clearly and you were passionate. I understood every word you said. You were funny, you were great. Congratulations, intermediate school, y'all rocked it.
So really, thank you guys, and now I think it's time for you guys to get a photo. And in a few minutes we'll proceed. Thank you, Gert. Get a photo?
Stop that. Time to stop it. I gotta sing or something.
Yeah, we got a gymnast and we need some tumblers on our cheerleading team, so I'm happy with that. I'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for letting me come present. You know, we kind of have a theme right now that Mr. White and I talk about daily. We have a lot of momentum going right now. Some decisions that have been made with Kettering Health, I'm still very appreciative. We have more participation right now than we did before COVID. We have almost 100 kids on our high school track team alone right now. It'll undoubtedly drop off a little bit just with, when they start really doing the work. The weight room's full all the time. We have about 35 kids right now with football, lifting with our strength and conditioning coach provided through Kettering Health. Fully customized programs for their sport. Basketball will be getting started. Our winter sports will be getting started in April, so now it is truly year-round. I had a meeting today with Kettering Health about part of our package with them for mental health, strength and conditioning coach or program for mental health and preparing our student athletes for competition. So as an outsider, that's one of the biggest needs that I have seen with our student athletes is, we always kind of joke, if you make a bad play in the first quarter, you can mentally check out. So this is to help our coaches and our student athletes identify some of the things going on and how to overcome them, and ultimately it's team building and that kind of stuff. So very exciting times. I have a few highlights. Before we get there, the athletics website, westcarrolltonpirates.com. Took a few screenshots. This is where you'll find all our team schedules. Starting this summer, we're going to start putting practice schedules on there as well. We'll have everything on there as soon as we're finishing up JV softball right now, which again, we have enough for a JV softball team, which we have not had in my time here. So very excited about that. All of our social media pages are right there. If you click on the little icons, it'll take you right to it. This is kind of what it's going to look like. This was taken right before our spring preseason parent meeting. We will have our rentals and stuff on there as well, to help our coaches and teams and everything understand what's going on, and we do have a lot of moving parts. Our hope is that all of our athletic facilities can kind of be in one spot here. If you click on the little composite schedule thing up there in the top right, it'll look like this. This was February, it was crazy, but this was all of our winter sports. Okay, so winter recap, we had, it's been all over our social media pages. One of our bowlers, who I feel like I talk about him every single year here, set a school record. So it wasn't just a school record, it was a Miami Valley League record. I went back in the G-Walk and there was a few scores that beat this, and all of those kids were going and placing at state, but he bowled a perfect game, 300. So in a series of bowling, you do 2 games. This was actually at Troy Bowl, so it was on the road. He bowled a 256 and a 300. So it's a school record and a Miami Valley League record. And the week of our awards banquet, I told him I bowled a 136 with my family the same week, and I was proud. So they make it look ridiculously easy every year, and Sam's just been great. So all league, 3 of our boys basketball players, Bryson Bauer-Jones, who's I feel like every single season is on this list. Kylan Ingram's first team, Joseph Ingram, first team as well. Great year from the boys. They won a playoff game, which is the first one in a while. Vinny, who is going to be fighting it out for valedictorian. He's also pole vaulting right now. I just saw him at practice, all league in wrestling. Bowling, we had Sam, and then Peyton Knott and John Mead were also honorable mention. Sam was first team, and that's all based on your average throughout the whole entire season. Girls basketball, Sydney and Stephanie. If you watched our girls basketball team, both of these players have just been great young ladies that really, really play hard, and it's very exciting to watch. And then the Coaches Association Awards, Joseph Ingram was named the District 15. These are done by coaches, so this is all voted on by coaches. The league is voted on by coaches as well, but just the coaches in the league. So this is all of our district, which is pretty much from Franklin to probably about Butler area, so that kind of gives you an idea. He was the District 15 Underclassman of the Year, great honor. Kylan was first, he was an all-star, so that's kind of how they do the boys, and they're playing in an all-star game tomorrow night at Northridge. All Southwest Ohio, Kylan was third team and Joe was second. Joe will be coming back for his senior year. He's getting a lot of look. He's got great grades, and he stands about a head taller than everybody else in the hallways, but great kid, great grades, and is really putting in the work athletically, and it's paying off here. Cindy played in her all-star game last night. I didn't see the stats or highlights or anything, but our coaches said she took a lot of things personally, that she wasn't first team all league, and really went out and played really well. She was first team all District 15, and Stephanie as well was first team. Athletic department updates, the big one, just like I said, the momentum that we currently have as far as involvement of our student athletes. We have a lot of things going on in spring sports. I was actually just out at softball. They had their first home scrimmage tonight, so beautiful night for it. Baseball has a scrimmage tomorrow in the snow or whatever we're going to get, so our coach wasn't too excited about that, but that's the spring. Athletics newsletter, we started this, I think this was our 3rd one, so I think we started it in January. Penny Stanley, our athletic secretary, and our athletic department intern and former alum, Erica, put together a newsletter, which is basically a composite of everything that we post on our social media pages, along with upcoming information for workouts and the weight room schedule. It has contact information for all of our coaches so we don't miss anything. And then athletes of the week, we highlight them in there as well. This is what the weight room schedule currently looks like, and it's only going to grow as soon as our winter sports hit April and start returning to the weight room. Upcoming events for us, tomorrow I'll be taking about 10 student athletes over to help Schnell celebrate, play with the kids a little bit, and have a good time. 8th grade night is next Wednesday. We'll have all of our coaches there to help, recruit our kids that are in 8th grade to come out to off-season workouts and get involved in athletics. We've been asked to go to the Dunkin' Donuts opening. That's going to be right down the street, so we're going to be taking the cheerleaders up there. And then Pirate Island Fest, this is more of a save the date, September 13th. If you've been there, it's a great way for our community to come together, all for our student athletes and helping our programs and teams fund all the things that they're doing. This was big for us. Every year OHSAA sends out a survey, who do you have in the community that helps out athletics? And so we nominated Mary Jo. She's one of the first people I met when I came to West Carrollton. Nicest lady in the world. She's worked in the district for 50 plus years, doing multiple things, but she does tickets for us at all of our games. She's a very busy lady, so they had the award ceremony this past Sunday, but she was out of town. So as soon as we get it, I'd like to come back and either present it here or do something for her, just because she's one of the real standout people in the community. Couldn't ask for a nicer first face you see when you come to West Carrollton sporting events. And that's all I have for athletics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. And I agree with you about Mary Jo.
Oh, yeah.
She's such a wonderful lady, and hopefully, I think it'd be great for her to come and have a year. That would be great. So.
Thank you.
Okay. We're moving on to the business portion of this meeting, and we'll start with number 9, Ryan for financial items.
Thank you. I ask that the board approve items 9A and 9B as presented.
So moved. I second.
All right. Any discussion on that, Ryan?
These are the financial reports, July of 24 through the end of February of 2025, 8 months into our fiscal year. As we've been talking about, our state funding is going to come in lower than the estimate, but hopefully there are other areas, other projections are able to offset it once we get to the end of the year, but other than that, nothing out of the ordinary.
All right, I'll call for a roll call.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shockley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
All right, item number 10. To you again, Ryan, for millage levies.
I ask that the board adopt the resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Montgomery County Auditor as presented.
Motion second, please.
So moved. Second.
All right. Anything further to discuss that?
This is just a standard resolution prepared by the County Auditor's Office, sent out to school districts for the board to approve, basically just giving an estimate of taxes, that the estimated tax revenue for the current calendar year. So.
Anyone have any questions? All right, we'll move to a vote.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shockley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
All right, Ryan, it's you again with Meta Solutions.
I ask that the board enter into an agreement with Meta Solutions for services for fiscal year 2026 as presented.
So moved. Second.
Anything further on that, Ryan?
This is an annual standard approval. Meta helps us with all of our data that gets submitted up to the Department of Education.
See, I thought that sounded familiar. Okay, well, we'll move to a vote.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shockley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Okay, item number 12 deals with personnel items. Devin?
Good evening.
Good evening.
The superintendent recommends that the board approve the listed personnel items 12A through 12E.
All right, can I get a motion in a second,
So
please?
moved. Second.
Is there anything that you'd like to add, Devin?
Sure, I'd like to congratulate Olivia Morris on obtaining her license. A couple of years ago, the board gave us permission, approved a new position for a paraprofessional of, we call it CIP, which is a classroom instructional para. We hired 9 at that time that all had bachelor's degrees. And we've used that to try to grow our own teachers. As you know, there is a teacher shortage. So out of the initial 9 that we hired, 3 and soon to be 4 retain their teaching lessons.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, anyone else? Okay, we'll move to a vote.
Mrs. Shocker,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy.
Yes. All right, item number 13, more personnel items. Devin?
The superintendent recommends that the board approve the listed personnel items 12A through 12B.
All right, motion second, please.
So moved. Second.
All right, anything you'd like to add?
No.
All right. We'll move on to the vote then.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shocker.
Yes.
All right, item number 14 deals with the BPA trip to Orlando. Andrew?
This is exciting. I'd like to recommend that the board approve, I saw your picture, as presented, the Business Professionals of America BPA National Leadership Conference student trip to Orlando, Florida, from May 7th, 2025 through May 11th, 2025. Over 6,000 students from across the country will gather to compete in the showcase. They showcase their business skills and develop their leadership portfolios. And this is the first year we'll have middle school going as well.
Which is very exciting. This is their first year as well.
This is their first year being a sector, and this is their first year going.
Going. Isn't that incredible?
Great, they did a great job.
All right, can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, anyone?
I saw your trophy.
I actually don't have a trophy. That wasn't mine. That was someone else's. It actually said third place. That's why my hand was covering it, because I didn't get third place. I got first.
Oh, look at that.
Good job.
All right, we'll call for a vote then.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shocker,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
All right.
Something else.
Item number 15 deals with E-rate purchases. Jack?
Back to E-rate again.
Yeah, this is the confusing topic.
The superintendent recommends that the board adopt the E-rate purchase of the following items from Forward Edge. New high school, for the new high school, middle school, 2 core switches and 121 wireless access points, along with a 5-year licensing agreement, including setup and installation with an 80% discount on that through E-rate.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. I don't know if you wanted to talk about the Forward Edge or.
Well, everything listed there is basically, we're taking advantage of the E-rate because we're at the end of a funding cycle, and if you don't spend it, you just lose it.
Right.
So we're taking advantage to update some of our equipment on this and buy it through E-rate, which frees up money on the building project for other items. So we're, basically the OFCC's giving us 80%, they pay 80% and we pay, or 81 and we pay 19. On this, E-rate pays 80%, we only pay 20, so it's the same discount. It's just we're using different funds so we can put more money into the building then.
Now, just so, does that free up is it LFI money?
Yes.
Or-
Well, it would free up the budget for the project as a whole.
Oh, as a
is
whole.
what it does, yeah.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. All right, I guess we'll call, did you have a question? No? Good? Okay. We'll call for a vote then.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shocker,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Okay, item number 16 deals with buses. Jack?
I would ask the board to approve the resolution to purchase buses through the Southwestern Ohio Purchasing Cooperative as presented.
All right, motion and second, please.
So moved. Second.
Good.
They go out to bid for us, we don't have to do anything, and we do have to have board action to say, hey, we'll participate in their bid. So that's what we're doing right here.
All right, easy enough. We'll call for a vote.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shocker,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
All right, item number 17 deals with purchasing buses.
That's it. The superintendent recommends the West Carroll Board of Education allow the purchase of 2 72-passenger integrated chassis school buses from Cardinal Bus Sales. The buses purchased shall comply with the Ohio School Bus Minimum Construction Standards as published by the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce.
So moved. Second.
Anything you'd like to add?
No?
Pretty simple.
Yep.
And it seems like that's a pretty average cost of buses today, isn't it?
They're, from last year to this year, they've gone up about $8,000 a bus. So just in 1 year. So it's a lot of steel.
That is. That is.
So,
Man. All right, we'll move to the vote.
Mrs. Shopper?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Mender?
Yes. All right, item number 18 deals with selling some school
yes,
buses.
the superintendent recommends that the board allow myself to sell 2 school buses, local bus numbers 12 and 23, through an online auction site, govdeals.com.
So moved. Second.
Anything to add to that?
You know, they normally tell you average life for a school bus is between 12 and 14 years. These buses are 20 and 21 years old that we're selling right now. So we use them up. So, and now it's time to let them go. And I'm sure they'll make somebody a nice little hunting camper, or a young kids traveling around the country when they put a wood burning stove in it or something. Somebody will buy it and they will put it to good
That's
use
what I'm gonna do.
someplace.
I'll buy it from you guys. Can you give me a discount though, cause I like am here.
Yeah, sadly, gov deals don't do discounts.
Oh, you haven't voted yet.
Well, without voting, we'll move to a vote.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Mender?
Yes.
Mrs. Shopper?
Yes.
All right. We're moving on to the reports now. Do you guys have any reports? Do you have reports?
No.
I had a roundtable meeting Saturday, and basically all we talked about is that we found a new bill to look into, which is House Bill 96, which has to do with school vouchers and allocation. No, like this is back, like we're doing it again because it didn't got passed. And then March 24th, you have to turn in your schedules for the next school year, and quarter exams are over, which means quarter 4 is starting, which is the last quarter.
Last quarter. Almost there.
Thank goodness.
Great.
Which is your last quarter in January.
That's true. Almost there. Okay. Moving on to committee reports. Does anyone have committee reports?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I go monthly to CTC, and so, I mean, it's a ginormous school, and there's so much going on, so it's difficult to know what all to bring back and talk about. I mean, notes I lost them. There they go. So I specifically want to mention the things that West Carrollton has done or accomplished at CTC. So the natural resource team qualified for state, which we have a student in. The CTC Honor Guard 2025. We had one of ours in that. Youth Connection graduate. There was 4 that graduated. One of them was a West Carrollton student. And they started in August of 23. And from then till now, they earned 16 plus credits and was able to graduate a year and a half early. So I thought that was pretty significant. They also did a presentation on the Career Connections, which is the same program, and it's really neat. It's amazing some of the things that they offer there that I didn't even know that they did. It's for sophomores. They have 55 students currently in this class, and they have earned 410 semester units this year between them. So they do 2 classes at a time, so they can switch back and forth with them. And so it's not like they're trying to juggle 6 or 8 classes. They have 2, and they go at their own pace. So if it's something that they can go really quickly with, they just fly through it.
And that's the one where they also do the like a work.
Yes, yes. They spend half the day doing, and they get to test out different careers. So it's not just one specific one. They kind of get an overview of all of them, but they get to go at their own pace. So I thought that was a really neat thing. CTC won 2 awards. They got the OSBA Gold Award. They also got a 5-star award for the 2024 in the Career Technical Planning District. And then something that I thought of you, Mr. Sloan, when they were talking about how they just recently had done their building, and they came out at 0.008% over budget.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of 0 zeros in there, and I thought, you know what, someone's going to be impressed with that, and I knew it would be you. I mean, I'm impressed too, don't get me wrong, but I knew that those numbers would, yeah, look at those eyes, he was just right. And then, are you going to talk about House Bill 3?
Not too much, no.
Okay,
If you
well
wanna
then I'll
talk
just
about
leave
it.
that to you, and we could just hit it once quick and be done.
You want to hit it? Because I'm not going to hit it.
Just that House Bill 3, basically it's for school bus safety. The penalties have changed. If you pass a bus that's stopped, your penalties will be much more immense. And they're also wanting to add cameras to the buses so that if something happens, we will be able to see who said what and who actually did what. So we probably do, but everyone catches up with West Carrollton. We've
always been ahead.
Right, we are just ahead of it. So and then that's all I have on that.
That's all you have? Okay. I had just a few things. Nothing with the legislative committee.
Well, you're welcome.
Because that's a lot of research, and I just didn't have the time, sadly. I wanted to, though, because I know there's a lot going on. And I also wanted to mention that our community, I always call it our Community Action Board. I actually don't know what it's actually called, but our CAB meeting with the city and everyone else. The ball is in West Carrollton City's court, so I want to make that public. And we have no date or place yet, but it's up to them, and I'm excited to see what we can do together. So, and you have no reports, correct? Okay. All right, so we'll move right along to the comments from the superintendent.
First of all, great job for our IS students tonight. They did a fantastic job. Congratulations to our VPA students. Mrs. Corbett mentioned reading and being kindergarten ready. I just wanted to give a stat about how many students in Montgomery County come to school kindergarten ready. It's only 31%. It's important that we read books to our kids. And I just received an email that Governor DeWine will be here on Monday to celebrate our Science of Reading Award. So, very exciting. That's all I have.
Well, thank you. Well, that's kind of exciting, huh? All
And
right.
you all know first. See?
Look at that. Yeah. All right. Brian, do you have anything?
I gave you all a handout regarding state funding and just wanted to go over that real quick. As we, the House currently has the state budget. The House will probably release their version of the state budget probably the first week in April. And how the state funding plays out, it's really crucial for us in every district across the state. Starting down the bottom line where it says general fund November 24 estimated surplus deficit. So like those numbers are from our November 2024 5-year forecast. For example, like right now we're in FY25, so it says like the projection for this year is that we have a $318,000 surplus, meaning revenues are $318,000 higher than the expenses. But in reality, we have one less pay this year. So if we didn't have that, in reality we are deficit spending this year. And then as we move forward, looking at FY26 in the next few years, the forecast shows that we're looking at deficit spending the next 4 years, and as we move forward, we obviously want to minimize deficit spending. 2015, 2016 was the last year that we had deficit spending. So for the past 9 years or so, our revenues have exceeded our expenses. And that, we passed the operating levy in November of 2016. We in districts across the nation got a ton of help from the federal government in terms of stimulus money, and then also the last 4 years or so, I mean, we've got significant increases in our state funding, but as we saw from Dwayne's budget, you know, like his projection had us and most districts across the state basically being flat funded. So the state funding is, you know, it's crucial, and you know, we're going to see, you know, with the stimulus money gone, with the state, with there not being a lot of additional state funding in the future, I mean, we're going to see a lot more levies all across the state. That has not been the case for the last few years because districts have benefited from federal stimulus and state funding. Down at the bottom right-hand corner, I did highlight, like this year, for example, there's that $440,000 number. So when I did the forecast in November, I was estimating about $25.2 million. Right now, we're looking at about 24.8. So our state funding this year is going to be about $440,000 less than the forecast. And so that yellow line I drew, I mean, that's one of the biggest variables as we update our forecast in May. So I'm, you know, when I did the forecast in November, I had 26.4 million, but you know, like if we only get 25 million, if we're basically, you know, if we get a couple 100,000 more and get 25 million, then that means that, you know, we need to lower our forecast by 1.4 million next year, 1.4 million. I mean, so it just compounds. So I mean, we'll be, you know, that'll be a big discussion. Like, hopefully we have a finance committee meeting and do the forecast. But just, you know, the state budget is about 50% of our general fund revenue. So how this turns out is huge. Right above that, I highlighted like our enrollment and just pointed out that you know, we're down about 200 kids the last couple of years, about 3% each of the last 2 years. And right above that, the graph is just showing from FY18 out through FY29. You can see we're pretty flat from FY18 through 20 or 21, and then as I mentioned, you know, so we did go from about 20 million in FY20 up to about 25 million here in FY25. So that's, you know, that was a large increase, but just a lot of uncertainty as we move forward, and hopefully we don't have to lower these estimated revenue numbers too much, but and that's the way it's looking. Just going up, I highlighted FY25, so like this year we got about a 5.7% increase, but $1 million of that, give or take, was due to the fact that we went to 100% free and reduced lunch. The year before we got a 10.6% increase, so that, you know, the last 2 years were just, you know, really large state funding increases, and that you know, is not going to happen in the future. So just looking to the right, when I did the forecast, I put in a 4.7% increase for next year, and then flat the following year, and then 2.7% for 28, and then flat for 29. So you know, it's just difficult making projections and doing forecasts. And you know, we'll do the forecast in May, but we won't know till the end of June what our state funding looks like. And then just up at the very top, like staying in the FY25 column. So FY25, the current year, so it's the second year of the biennium, as we know. So which means that, you know, July 1st is the first year of the next 2-year biennium. The 406 means means that we are like in year 406 of the Fair School Funding Plan. So the next 2 years, you know, they call it year 5 and year 6. When Dwayne introduced his budget, you know, he did say, you know, we're going to phase it in year 5 and 6. So technically they did, but the big part is like they kept the same inputs. It's like they're using the same cost numbers that they used from 2 years ago. So that's why districts are flat funded. So it's really like inaccurate to say that they're fully funding the formula. So yeah, as I mentioned, just a lot of uncertainty and angst across the state in terms of how the state budget's going to play out.
Right, and that's something to definitely be paying attention to, because especially that fair school funding. All right. We have no association comments, so we'll move right on to our central office staff. Let's see, let's start with Jack.
Mine will be a question for Ryan. Earlier on item 10, talk about the effective millage for the bond. We're at 3.45. That started out at 5.7, correct? 5.6. So basically, bond funding, you guarantee an amount. So what that means is the voters passed a bond for 5.6. It's basically dropped 40% because values of the houses or properties have risen 40%. So we're not, because your property taxes are going up, we're not getting any more money. That effective millage is dropping down so that the money we receive from that bond issue stays flat. It stays the same because you pass for a dollar amount. So that's kind of good to see that we're down to 3.45. That means, hey, our houses are selling for more, our property is valued at more. You're not paying more taxes towards that bond issue though, because they just keep reducing that millage down to make it so it works. So since 2019, we're 6 years into it, or 5 years into it, probably collecting money, and here it is. We've lost just about 40%, I'd say, close. So, just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
All right, Julie.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm going to let Becky talk about the designation for our elementary school, but just real quick on the whole process of the science of reading. Last year, we basically we had a mandate from the state for all of our teachers and administrators to complete required training to learn about the science of reading, and we're almost at 100%. We had a year to get that done. The teachers did receive a stipend, but we jumped right on that, and we're almost at 100% of everybody doing that required training of how it fits into their curriculum, how it fits into their classroom, and what they should be doing to help with literacy. So that was our first step, and then our next step was a designation, and I'll let Becky talk about that, and even the grant that we're writing.
Like Jane said, we received the designation for Schnell for our science of reading programming, and really it's huge accomplishment for the school, and I think for our elementary model, because we're going to be able to codify that process and have it be kind of our K-4, K-5 model. I'm just super proud of the staff, because they're the ones that made it happen, and it was a lot of work went into doing all the professional development as well as daily work with kids, and so yeah, the staff deserves the award.
Deb? No? All right. Well, we'll move along. There's no general comments from the public tonight, so we'll move right along to board members, and we'll start with you, Lori.
Well, I don't have a whole lot. I said with the intermediate school, man, y'all just, there's only one here left, so you get to get all the raves about it. Yeah, you rocked it. It was amazing. We are aware that that is a tough age. That is a tough time to want to go to school. You're all of a sudden getting all this freedom, and you're wanting to push your way around, and you all just rocked it. It was amazing. Very nicely done. Congratulations to them, and how well they spoke. You guys spoke for yourselves and represented yourselves. Very nicely done. I'm sure that there were other things mentioned tonight that I should be thanking, so I will just piggyback on what everybody else says.
Easy enough. All right, Angie.
I'd like to echo what she said about the intermediate school students. They did a fabulous job.
Yes.
I thought they were wonderful. Also want to congratulate the BPA award students, and I'm excited for them to go on their trip. And
Me too.
And hear all about it when they get back. That's it.
Thank you.
Did they get a board member to?
Yeah, to come along. All right, I don't have too much today. I know I wanted to really talk about the science of reading. The recognition for that is incredible, and then for Mike to come on down, Mike DeWayne to come down and be a part of that is really cool. Sorry. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
To come down and present that is Governor DeWine, the official version of his name, yes. To have him come down and present that is such a cool opportunity. So that's always really neat. I'm happy the career fair went so well. I was fortunate enough to have someone that I know that kind of sneaked in at the end there, and he did a lot talking about like just entrepreneurship and kind of what goes on with that. And it seemed like he had a blast. He's just the kids absolutely loved kind of talking to him and kind of getting those ideas out there. So I'm happy the career fair went so well. And then I'm happy. It's hard to be so young and to speak in front of all these people. So really, you guys did absolutely amazing. Like I said earlier, you guys spoke better than me most of the time. So it's just so cool to see. Do you say that's true?
I may have, yes.
So really, I mean, for you guys to be so professional and to be up here and have to say all these facts and everything else, I mean, I learned so much. It's just incredible. So
The
really,
Aztecs are now my favorite people
yeah,
ever.
chocolate.
Chocolate,
Yeah.
right?
I learned all sorts of cool stuff. So other than that, of course, I'll end with a quote and then we'll go from there. So it's funny, we were talking, Black History Month and things, all the facts. The quote I had tonight was from Dr. Martin Luther King, and it's, "The time is always right to do what is right." So with saying that.
So moved.
Well, okay, yeah, sure. No executive session or anything, so we'll move to the vote.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Easy enough. I totally forgot there's only 3 of us. All right, you take care. Have a good night.